Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Anne. I want to talk about charging infrastructure and telematics. There is a link, as Anne mentioned, that in many ways communication is being made more and more important with the car, and that's what the definition, I think, of telematics is. I think I'd just like to talk about the EV car market a little bit, because there's plenty of skeptics around, probably not too many here today because you wouldn't be here today, but I always like to point out that we shouldn't be surprised at some of the negative stories in the press. Every new technology has a time to get going. Electric cars are moving forward. There's real evidence that that's happening. I just wanted to explain why we are having this evolution of technology. Motor manufacturers are being encouraged and indeed forced to reduce their carbon emissions. There are all sorts of European rules coming into place, particularly from 2015, and this is happening right around the world. Obviously, the internal combustion engine has been made significantly more efficient over the last few years, and that certainly helps, but they won't get there to the targets unless they start bringing out battery electric vehicles, pure electric vehicles, plug-in hybrids or range extenders like the Vauxhall Ampera. And we can actually see this happening. We counted up there's some 29 new models coming onto the streets for the next 18 months. Some of them very, very exciting. Things from the Nissan Leaf that we obviously are aware of, and that's going to be built in the UK from next year, to the Renault Zoe, which, as previously mentioned, is going to be available later this year, which will be another stepping stone, to the BMW i3, which is going to be a very exciting milestone in EV development, which will be launched next year. So these cars are coming, and you'll start to see them more and more on the streets. I think the thing that is relevant from our point of view when involved in charging technology, all these have plugs on. They're all different technology, but they need plugging in. And they need a range of different plug charging technologies. This is where we step in with Chargemaster. And you've got to bear in mind that electric vehicles are different from internal combustion engine cars. The energy density of electricity is much different from carbon fuels like petrol or diesel. So you'll never get to the situation you can stop and completely fill a car up in 3 minutes like you can with a car. So we at Chargemaster produce a range of charging equipment, from home charging units that might take 7 or 8 hours to charge your car overnight, to rapid charge units that's been discussed a few minutes ago. We also work with our friends at Qualcomm on inductive charging, which you'll hear about a little bit later on. We're one of the largest players in Europe of providing a range of charging stations. It's growing very rapidly now. We have doubled our turnover in the last year, and historically over the last 4 years we've increased the rate of about 50% a year. Recently, Pike Research estimated this market was going to be valued at 1.2 billion of annual sales by 2020, and it's estimated that 4 million pieces of equipment will be sold over the next 8 years. Where we fit in, and indeed I'll come on to the range of chargers and indeed the link, the communications with these and the car. You can see this growing from the current base on the left-hand side to the larger one on the right-hand side, and it's a mixture of charging from, in the bottom, domestic charging to commercial workplace charging in the green, to rapid charging in the reddy colour, to inductive charging at the top. You can see this is a range of chargers is essential, and Chargemaster is one of the few players in Europe that provides a complete range of charging right across the spectrum. We started the company in 2008. We installed over 5,000 charging points in Europe, and we're profitable, and we're proud about that. Revenue growth, as I mentioned, is pretty spectacular. One of the key things with charging is you have to work with the OEMs, and one of the aspects that we're very proud of is the team at Chargemaster is very experienced in working with car manufacturers. There's a range of brands there you can see, but we're working closely with every car manufacturer that's got an EV. We not only work closely with the car manufacturers, but we work closely with the energy company, people like British Gas and SSE, and people who want to install charging equipment, such as Waitrose, Sainsbury's and Asda. One of the things that's happening at the moment is the car manufacturers are very rapidly fitting out their car dealership in preparation for all the charging points we saw. And we've installed forecourt charging equipment with people like Nissan, Renault, BMW. And we expect that to be a very significant marketplace over the next couple of years. We also work with cities. We're very proud of the relationship we have with the City of Amsterdam. And we are installing about 50 charging points in Amsterdam every month. Interesting concept there. If you buy an EV in Amsterdam, you can apply to the city to have a charging point put on the street outside your house. Would like to talk about the communication, the telematics aspect, because we have got a lot of experience within Chargemaster of communication and telematics from going back some 20 years. All our charging points that are on the street side do have communication back to a central server, and that enables them to communicate to the car and indeed the user. And we're leading the field in terms of provision of other communication to the actual motorist in terms of iPhone apps. So we very much see the advent of electric vehicles and the requirement for the motorist to know where charging points are, the state of the car, and indeed pay for charging is very fundamental going forward. And this will be done by communication to handheld applications such as iPhone and obviously devices in the car. Most of the electric vehicles that you see coming onto the market are using this as an opportunity to bring telematics right into the forefront of their thinking. So to summarise, well, my final slide, if I can get it to work, there we are. It's a very rapidly growing market, very, very exciting. We've got a team at Luton at Chargemaster that is focused on helping car manufacturers put the infrastructure right across the country and indeed in Europe. 50% of our turnover comes from exports with big operations in France and in the Netherlands. Rapidly growing, it's helpful if you're building a company to have a growing market, and we're fortunate that we have got a rapidly growing market. And we're very ambitious. We're proud of the team we've got, proud of the experience in terms of communication, and we see ourselves very much as one of the leading forces worldwide in this industry. Thank you.
Thank you, David.